Unraveling the Grand Strategy of the British Empire. The grand strategy of the British Empire is an intriguing topic, offering insights into how a small island nation became a global superpower. Unraveling this strategy takes us through an intricate web of political maneuvering, economic exploitation, and military might. With a focus on maintaining control over its vast territories, the British Empire's grand strategy was a complex and dynamic process that evolved over centuries. The initial expansion of the British Empire was a testament to its strategic foresight. The empire systematically established colonies in strategic locations across the globe. These colonies not only provided resources but also served as naval bases, strengthening Britain's control over global trade routes. This worldwide network of colonies laid the foundation of the empire's grand strategy. Naval power played a pivotal role in the British Empire's strategy. The empire's naval supremacy allowed it to protect its far-flung territories, maintain open trade routes, and exert influence over other nations. As the saying goes, Britain's empire was one on the waves, and indeed, its grand strategy was deeply rooted in its naval strength. The grand strategy of the British Empire was not solely reliant on military power. Economic considerations were at the heart of many strategic decisions. The empire leveraged its colonies for economic gain, exploiting their resources, and using them as markets for British goods. This economic exploitation was a cornerstone of their grand strategy, ensuring a steady flow of wealth back to Britain. Ideology also played a significant role in the British Empire's grand strategy. The empire propagated the belief in British superiority and the moral obligation to civilize the lesser races. This ideological narrative not only justified the empire's expansion but also helped maintain control over its diverse colonies, making it a critical aspect of the grand strategy. The divide and rule strategy was a key component of the British Empire's grand strategy. It involved creating divisions among local populations to prevent unified opposition. This strategy was particularly effective in regions with diverse ethnic, religious, or linguistic groups, and enabled the British to maintain control with a relatively small number of troops. The British Empire's use of alliances in its grand strategy was equally vital. By forming alliances with local rulers, the British were able to extend their influence and control with minimal military intervention. These alliances often involved trade agreements, military support, and promises of protection, which further cemented British influence. Geography played a pivotal role in shaping the British Empire's grand strategy. The empire strategically positioned its colonies and trading posts to control key trade routes and resources. This strategy allowed the British to dominate global trade and amass enormous wealth, which was used to further expand and maintain the empire. The impact of the British Empire's grand strategy on world politics cannot be understated. Through its colonies, the British Empire spread its language, culture, and political institutions around the world. Even today, the influence of the British Empire can be seen in the structure of many former colonies' governments and legal systems. The case of India provides a good example of the British Empire's grand strategy. The British used a combination of alliances, divide and rule tactics, and control of key geographic locations to establish and maintain control over India. This strategy allowed the British to exploit India's vast resources and population for their own benefit. Understanding the British Empire's grand strategy can be insightfully explored through the lens of colonial Africa. The British aimed to control the vast resources of the continent, strategically positioning themselves to exploit these resources while suppressing any form of resistance. They successfully used a blend of military, economic, and diplomatic tactics to maintain their dominance. The divide and rule strategy played a significant role in the British Empire's grand plan. By stoking ethnic, religious, and tribal divisions, the British were able to control vast territories with minimal resistance. This strategy not only enabled them to suppress possible rebellions but also made the local populations dependent on their rule. The British Empire was also known for its use of alliances in its grand strategy. The empire formed alliances with local rulers and other European powers to bolster its position. These alliances, often formed through marriages or treaties, helped the British Empire extend its reach and maintain control over its vast territories. The influence of geography on the British Empire's grand strategy cannot be underrated. The strategic positioning of the colonies, the exploitation of natural resources, and the establishment of trade routes were all dictated by geographical considerations. The British Empire strategically chose locations that would offer them the greatest advantages in terms of resources and trade. The empire's grand strategy was also deeply rooted in its ideological perspective. The British Empire propagated the idea of the white man's burden, a moral obligation to civilize the uncivilized parts of the world. This ideology, combined with economic and political interests, provided a powerful justification for their global expansion. The consequences and aftereffects of the British Empire's grand strategy have left indelible marks on world history. The strategy's primary aim was to consolidate power and wealth, resulting in cultural assimilation, economic exploitation, and political subjugation of the colonies. The remnants of this strategy continue to influence international relations and world politics. The role of the military in the British Empire's grand strategy was paramount. The military was used to enforce the empire's dominance, quell rebellions, and maintain law and order in the colonies. This extensive use of force was instrumental in the expansion and preservation of the empire. A critical analysis of the British Empire's defensive strategies reveals their complexity. The empire's defensive strategies were primarily focused on protecting trade routes, securing borders, and maintaining political stability within the colonies. These strategies were often reactive, adapting to the changing geopolitical landscape and the unique threats in each region. The British Empire's grand strategy heavily relied on trade and commerce. The empire established a global trade network that ensured a steady flow of resources from the colonies to the motherland. This network played a critical role in strengthening the empire's economy and financing its military expeditions. The role of technology and innovation in the British Empire's grand strategy can't be overstated. Advances in navigation, shipbuilding, and weaponry gave the British an edge over their rivals. Furthermore, the introduction of railways and telegraph lines in the colonies streamlined communication and transportation, thereby fortifying the empire's control. The decline of the British Empire was a significant part of its grand strategy. It wasn't an abrupt fall, but a gradual process that spanned decades. The empire's decline was influenced by a series of internal and external factors, including the rise of nationalistic movements across its colonies, economic challenges, and the aftermath of the two world wars. The empire's strategic withdrawal from its colonies was aimed at maintaining some level of influence and avoiding complete disintegration. A case study of Australia provides unique insights into the British Empire's grand strategy. Australia was initially viewed as a penal colony but quickly evolved into a valuable asset for the empire. The British leveraged Australia's strategic location for maritime trade and defence. The empire's strategy in Australia was a blend of exploitation and development, a tactic that ensured the colony's loyalty and the empire's sustained influence. The British Empire wasn't without its strategic failures. Despite its vast reach and immense power, the empire made several missteps. These failures ranged from underestimating the power of local resistance in its colonies to miscalculations in international diplomacy. These strategic failures, though painful at the time, provided valuable lessons for the empire and shaped its future strategies. The influence of the British Empire's grand strategy extends beyond its reign, impacting modern warfare. The empire's emphasis on naval power, intelligence gathering, and alliance formation are strategies still employed today. Furthermore, the empire's strategies of divide and rule, indirect rule, and the use of local forces as auxiliaries have influenced modern counterinsurgency tactics. Religion played a pivotal role in the British Empire's grand strategy. It was often used as a tool for control and influence. The empire promoted Christianity within its colonies, viewing it as a civilizing mission. This strategy had a twofold effect: it subdued local populations and provided moral justification for the empire's rule. The role of religion in the empire's strategy is a testament to its complexity and multifaceted nature. The British Empire's grand strategy during the World Wars was a complex blend of military, economic, and political maneuvers. The empire sought to maintain its global dominance even in the face of such catastrophic events. They utilized their vast resources, alliances, and their global presence to maintain a strategic edge over their adversaries. The grand strategy also highlighted the empire's ability to adapt and respond to rapidly changing global circumstances. The impact of the British Empire's grand strategy on indigenous populations cannot be underestimated. The strategy often led to the displacement and subjugation of indigenous communities, altering their social, economic, and political landscapes drastically. This aspect of the grand strategy, while integral to the empire's expansion, remains a controversial topic in historical discourse due to its far-reaching consequences on these communities. The British Empire's grand strategy also played a significant role in shaping global power dynamics. Its strategies of expansion, consolidation, and preservation not only affected the territories it ruled but also influenced other global powers. The empire's grand strategy, thus, was not merely a domestic policy but also a tool for international relations, shaping global politics and diplomacy. Understanding the place of the British Empire in the history of international strategies is integral to understanding the modern world's geopolitical landscape. The empire's grand strategy, with its emphasis on naval supremacy, economic dominance, and strategic alliances, has in many ways laid the foundation for contemporary global strategies. Its influence can be seen in how nations approach international relations, defense, and economics today. The influence of the British Empire's grand strategy on contemporary British foreign policy is significant. Modern British foreign policy still bears the imprint of its imperial past. The strategies of international diplomacy, maintenance of strategic alliances, and focus on economic advantage that were integral to the empire's grand strategy continue to shape the United Kingdom's approach to international relations. The end of the British Empire signified a significant shift in global politics, marking the end of an era in the grand strategy. This was characterized by rapid decolonization, with nations previously under British rule gaining independence. The strategic implications were monumental, as the British were forced to reconsider their global positioning, transitioning from an imperial power to a diplomatic one. The evolution of the British Empire's grand strategy is a fascinating study. It began as an aggressive expansionist policy, which gradually morphed into a defensive strategy aimed at maintaining control over their vast territories. The strategy evolved further in response to the changing political, economic, and social landscapes, reflecting the empire's adaptability and resilience. One cannot discuss the grand strategy of the British Empire without addressing the crucial role of intelligence and espionage. The empire built an extensive network of spies and informants across the globe. They gathered information on potential threats, provided early warnings of rebellions, and played significant roles in diplomatic negotiations. This strategic use of intelligence greatly contributed to the empire's longevity. The impact of the British Empire's grand strategy on the global economy was profound. The empire's focus on trade and commerce led to the establishment of numerous trade routes and marketplaces across the world. The British pound sterling was the world's dominant currency, and London became a global financial center. These economic strategies fueled the empire's growth and influenced global economic trends. Education and culture played a significant role in the British Empire's grand strategy. The empire sought to civilize its colonies by introducing British education systems and promoting English culture. This strategy facilitated easier administration of the colonies and aimed to create a sense of loyalty to the British Crown. However, it also led to cultural erosion in the colonized regions, a legacy that continues to spark debates today. Education and culture played a pivotal role in the British Empire's grand strategy. These elements were utilized as tools to propagate British values, ideals, and ways of life among the colonized populations. This strategy was effective in establishing a sense of British superiority, thus legitimizing their rule and fostering acceptance among the colonized. From a post-colonial perspective, the British Empire's grand strategy was an intricate web of domination and control. It was a system designed to exploit the resources of the colonized regions while keeping the indigenous populations under check. This approach has left a lasting impact on the socio-political and economic fabric of these regions, the effects of which are still seen today. The British Empire's grand strategy was a mix of successes and failures. On one hand, it facilitated the empire's expansion and the establishment of a global trade network. On the other hand, it resulted in numerous conflicts, rebellions, and the eventual dissolution of the empire itself. A comprehensive review of the British Empire's grand strategy reveals a complex and multifaceted approach. It was shaped by various factors including economic interests, geographical considerations, and ideological beliefs. This strategy was not static, but evolved over time, adapting to changing circumstances and global dynamics. In conclusion, unraveling the British Empire's grand strategy provides valuable insights into its rise and fall. It was a strategy marked by ambition, adaptability, and a relentless pursuit of power. This understanding sheds light on the enduring legacy of the empire and its influence on the contemporary world.